ආයිබෝන් ශ්‍රී ලංකා. හලෝ හලෝ අරුන්.
අයිබෝන් යසස්.
අද මාව එනවා නේද?
අද එනවා නියමෙටම ඔයාව.
අද මම අතනම රවුට් එක තිබ්බා.
ඒක තමයි. අද යසස් අපේ 15 වෙනි එපිසෝඩ් එක නේද?
15 නේ. ලේසි නෑ වැඩේ.
ඔව් ඉතින් 15 වෙනි එපිසෝඩ් එකේ අපි හිතුවා මැජික් ටෝක් විත් අරුන් and යසස් වැඩසටහනේ පළවෙනි ෆීමේල් මැජිෂියන් කෙනෙක්ව ගෙන්නන්න. එහෙම නේද යසස්?
අන්න හරි. ඊට කලින් අපි කියමු අපිත් එක්ක කනෙක්ට් වෙන විවර්ස්ලාට හાર્ට් එක හරි ලයික් බටන් එක හරි ප්‍රෙස් කරන්න. ඒතර අපිට පේනවා අපිත් එක්ක ඔයගොල්ලෝ කනෙක්ට් වෙලා ඉන්නවා කියලා. මොකද තාම පේනවා මදි මේ කනෙක්ට් වෙලා අපි ස්ට්‍රීම් එක යනවා ඇති නේද අරුන්? අද විවර්ෂිප් එක පොඩ්ඩක් මදි වගේ නේද? කනෙක්ට් වෙලා ඉන්නවා නම් කට්ටිය අපිට හાર્ට් එකක් හරි ලයික් බටන් එකක් හරි එවන්න. නැත්තම් කමෙන්ට් එකක් දාන්න. ඒතර අපි දන්නවා අපිත් එක්ක ඔයගොල්ලෝ කනෙක්ට් වෙලා ඉන්නවා කියලා. අරුන් කිව්වා වගේ අද විශේෂ මැජිෂියන් කෙනෙක් ඉන්නේ නේ. ඇත්තටම අර කිව්වා වගේ පළවෙනි පාරට කාන්තාවක් ෆීමේල් මැජිෂියන් කෙනෙක් තමයි අපිත් එක්ක කනෙක්ට් වෙන්නේ.
ඒ තව විශේෂත්වයක් තියෙනවා.
මොකක්ද අරුන්?
ඉන්ටර්නැෂනල් ෆීමේල් මැජිෂියන් කෙනෙක්.
හරියට හරි. ලංකාවේ නෙවෙයි ඉන්ටර්නැෂනල් ෆීමේල් මැජිෂියන් කෙනෙක්. ඕක අපිට හાર્ට් එක ඇවිල්ලා තියෙනවා දිනේෂ්ගෙන්. කෝ අපේ අනිත් කට්ටිය ඔව් ෂෙනාල් කනෙක්ට් වෙලා ඉන්නවා. හලෝ ෂෙනාල්. මේ සන්තෝෂයි ඔයගොල්ලෝ අපිත් එක්ක කනෙක්ට් වෙලා ඉන්නාට. මේ අද මොකද දන්නේ අද කට්ටිය පොඩ්ඩක් මදි වගේ බය වෙලාද දන්නේ
ඒ බය වෙලා
ඕ ෂෙනාල් කියනවා හලෝ ෂෙනාල් හැමදාම කනෙක්ට් වෙන්නේ රැට දැන් ෂෙනාල්ව එපිසෝඩ් එක දාන්න ඉන්න ඒක පහු වෙනවා අපි ඉක්මනටම ෂෙනාල්වත් ගමු නැත්තම් මේ නේද ෂෙනාල් ගැන උගක් අය අහලා තිබ්බා හැකි ඉක්මනින් අපි ගමු ඒ
සම්බන්ධ කරගන්නවා
අන්න අපිට තව ලයික් එකක් ඇවිල්ලා තියෙනවා විහංගගෙන් මේ විහංග මේ වෙන විහංගගෙන් එන්නේ ඩිලාන් අපේ ක්‍රියේටිව් කන්සල්ටන්ට් හලෝ ඩිලාන්ගේ වැඩකුත් තියෙනවා හලෝ ඩිලාන් තව අපිත් එක්ක කවුද කනෙක්ට් වෙලා ඉන්නේ විහංග උදේශ් කියන්නේ අලුත් ප්‍රණාම් කනෙක්ට් වෙලා ඉන්නවා අපේ ගැම්බිට් හලෝ ඔක්කොම එහෙමනම් මේ අපි වැඩි කාලයක් ගත කරන්නේ නැතුව අරුන් අපි කෙලින්ම ඉන්ට්‍රොඩියුස් කරලා පටන් ගමු නේද? ඩෝංගාලා. අපි එහෙනම් මේ පොඩි වීඩියෝ එකක් තියෙනවා. වීඩියෝ එක පෙන්නලා ඉන්ට්‍රොඩියුස් කරලා ගමු. මේක පෙන්නලා අපි මොකද?
Only a heritage.
කොහොමද අරුන් වැඩ?
සුපිරි
මේ අපේ මගේ මේ හැමේ මයිලුත් කෙලින් වුණා.
වගේ
ඇත්තට
වැඩ කාරෙක් වැඩ කාරෙක් අපි වැඩ
වැඩෙක් නේ වැඩියක් ඒක ඇත්තටම මේ අරුන් මෙයා ඉන්ටර්නැෂනල් ආටිස්ට් කෙනෙක් විතරක් නෙවෙයි අපි දන්න ලොකු මේ ෂෝස් වල perform කරපු මැජිෂියන් කෙනෙක් කවුරුත් දන්නවා Now You See Me කියන මූවි එක Now You See Me මූවි එක කොච්චර පොපියුලර් වුණාද කිව්වොත් Now You See Me Lionsgate team එක Now You See Me live show එකක් පටන් ගත්තා live show එකේ 4 horsemen ලගෙන් එක කාන්තාවයි ඉන්නේ ඒ තමයි මෙයා. ඒත් එක්කම මෙයා තව හුඟක් Broadway shows වල perform කරනවා. ඉතින් අපි වැඩි විස්තර කතා කරමු එයාත් ආවම. එහෙනම් අපි introduce කරමු කවුද කියලා. So ladies and gentlemen, for the first time on Magic Talk with Arun and Yasas, we have an international female artist. She's an amazing personality, a beautiful person and a talented person. She's an escape artist. She has performed in some of the biggest stages in the world. And she's no other than Sabine van Diemen. And we welcome Sabine into Magic Talk with Arun and Yasas. Yay! Hi Sabine. How are you?
Guys. I'm good. Thank you so much for that beautiful video.
Oh, it's our pleasure. Hope you liked it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I was like, oh yeah, that, and oh yeah, the water tank. Oh my god. Yeah.
So, Sabine, thank you very much for connecting with us. And ladies and gentlemen, Sabine is connecting all the way from Amsterdam. And what's the time over there? How's the weather and what's the time?
Let's see. It's 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and the weather is. I can show you a little bit. It's gray and rain, like it always is in Holland.
Wow.
Do you see that?
Yes,
Amazing.
yes, yes.
It's like
Amazing.
grass, cows, and rain.
So there are so many comments. People are like asking questions and they're sharing their thoughts. They're all
Amazing.
amazed about who this is and what we're going to talk about. So Sabine, again, thank you very much. You're, as we said, the first female international artist and the first magician, female magician, to be on our show. So today is our 15th episode, and we are glad to have you.
Thank you. Thanks again for inviting me. I'm super excited. So let me know if you have questions, just whatever you want to talk about.
Definitely.
So,
So
Sabine, I have
yeah.
a bunch of questions for you during the show. I will ask one by one.
Okay.
Definitely. And Sabine, let's start from who you are and how you got into magic, because all I know is you've been into modeling, you've been into ballet, and you're a good dancer, as I've heard. So how did you get into magic? And if you can tell us quickly about your story and what inspired you.
Yeah, sure. So all I wanted to be my whole life when I was little was a dancer. And not necessarily a ballet dancer, but big show dancing with the stairs, coming up the stairs in like feathery costumes. That's what I wanted. So when I was 18, that's what I achieved. I was the youngest person ever in the Holland Show Ballet, and I felt like I was living my dream. I achieved my goals. That was just the life. And then on the rehearsal of opening night for a new show, we had a magician there, female magician. Her name is Sita. She won FISM later, but I'll tell you all about that. And one of her assistants broke her ankle or something with her ankle. So she couldn't do the show in the evening, but we had opening night. So they really needed someone to fill in. And they were like, would you like to do some illusions? We have 30 minutes to practice them. And I was like, well, I want to try. So I did fire cage illusion, and I think I did like a version of the fire spiker.
Okay.
And that evening, and I came out of the fire cage, and I immediately thought, oh my, this is so amazing. Like next to dancing, I found my new passion.
Wow. So if I'm not mistaken, Sita was also performing with Hans Klock, right?
Yeah, so Sita was performing with Hans Klock first. It was Hans Klock and Sita, back in the 80s. They were already touring when I was born. And then later she became a magician on her own. Yeah.
Whoa,
and she won.
I didn't know that.
So she was actually
Really, I really didn't know that, because I remember her from Champions of Magic season 2, if I'm not mistaken. There's a part that she tries to reveal a trick, and then Hans Klock he appears and he's after Sita. It's a comedy routine, and I remember the name there, but I never knew she was a FISM winner.
Yeah,
Wow.
when FISM was in Stockholm that year.
Oh, that year.
She
Wow,
won.
brilliant.
Yeah, she won. So that was
So-
amazing. So I worked with her for a couple of years, and then my love for magic was born. But first as an assistant.
Wow, brilliant. And you've been into modeling as well, right?
A little bit, yes. Thing is,
I found
God.
this.
Yes, that's me. Yeah. Well, this one has a funny story attached to it, because in between tour life, so when I'm home in Amsterdam, I work for this really big event company, because I have more passions than magic, and here I was actually booking all the models and making the choreography for Fashion Week in Amsterdam. And then again, one of the models in the morning, she didn't show up. So I was like, "Oh, give me the costume. I'll do it myself." So here I am.
So you've been like Wonder Woman saving the day each time
Yeah,
something goes wrong.
that is a little bit the story of my life. But people are always like, "How did you get to do that?" And I'm like, "Yeah, well, there was nobody else to do it, so I did it."
Wow, and I'm sure you stole the show after
I don't
that.
know, but it worked out for my career, so I'm just going to keep doing that.
Brilliant. Arun, you had a question, right?
Now, Sabine, how was the experience working with the Hans Club?
Oh, Hans is amazing. I love him dearly. We were a crazy group of people. They always, wherever we go, oh, I feel another photo coming up. Yeah, oh, with dear Natalie Hope. God, I love her. Yeah, so wherever we went, we were called the Hans Klok family, and that is really what it was, or what it is actually, because you can never leave Hans Klok. Do you know what I mean? Like now, I'm a solo performer, of course, but when I was in Vegas, I was rehearsing for the Illusionist in October 2019, and Hans was in Vegas doing his show, and then again, someone got injured, and he calls me and he goes, we haven't worked together for 3 years, but can you please come to the theater? Like, yeah, let's do
Wow.
a show together. So, I will forever be part of the Hans Klok family. You can just never leave.
Wow.
So what is your
And
favorite
Sabine, for me, oh, sorry, Arun. For me, the biggest illusion Hans performs is his never aging illusion. I don't know how he looks the same every time I see him.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
I think
he's
it's
young in the brain, young in the heart, and then you just look young, you know?
or is it something to do with Holland? I think people in Holland also look very young and pretty.
I don't know. Maybe it's all the rain and the cold. The cold keeps your skin good.
Probably.
We don't
Sorry,
have much
Arun. Over to
fun.
you.
So no time for
Yeah.
wrinkles.
Sabine, what is your favorite magic performance?
Do you mean illusion to perform myself, or do you mean performance of someone else?
No, yourself.
Oh, from myself.
Yeah.
Oh God. Well, I like. I know. I like the Metamorphosis because
Okay.
it's a classic. Of course, it's nothing new. It exists for years. I mean, Houdini did it. But the fact that Jonathan Pendragon was the one who taught me to do the Metamorphosis together with Abby in Las
Wow.
Vegas. Yeah, that was I mean, picture this, okay? I'm sitting in a hotel by myself in Las Vegas.
Okay.
They say, we're going to train for Now You See Me. I say, okay, the car picks you up at 9 in the morning. I say, yeah, sure. So I'm ready, I have my training outfit on and everything, and I had good breakfast, and I was like, it's going to be a good day. In the car is Mark Kalin and Jonathan Pendragon. And they say, okay, let's go. We're now gonna. Mark Kalin was my magic coach. Like, he did script, and he chose the illusions that fit me and my persona. And Jonathan Pendragon was the one who was really practicing with me and Abilene. Abilene was my assistant then, but now is also a solo performer herself. And I don't know, every time I perform the Metamorphosis on stage, it's like I still feel all that background. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel so special that I can perform that illusion.
Exactly. I mean, it's such a classic, and Arun and myself, we've done a version of it. We call it the crystal transposition because when you put it on YouTube, people can search, and we didn't want things to pop up, so we changed the name. But it's such a challenge, and Arun can probably talk about being two guys trying to do it in a see-through box was more challenging. Especially when I'm old and we are not flexible, probably like you. So, but I can imagine working with Jonathan is like, I mean, he's like one of those gurus, right? And they're like very fast, and their act is been seen by millions all over the world, right?
I know, it was a dream. And do you know what I love about magic, and especially illusions actually so much, is the connection you have with the person you do the trick with. It's like a new language, because without talking, without even looking at each other, you feel that the other person is ready, and the other person feels that
Exactly.
you are ready. And that's really something I have learned from Hans, because yeah, he's very fast, so you have to feel him, because otherwise you're in pain. But yeah,
Exactly.
that for me is true magic. How can we connect so well that without words we can do this thing so quick and no one gets hurt? And that's just something new to me.
Exactly, and most of the time, this is what the audience also sometimes, or even magician, non-illusionist, they kind of think sometimes illusions are easy because they just feel, you just have a box and you have to gesture at it. But there's so much of teamwork behind it, so much of pain, so much of trouble that you go through, so much of things going wrong sometimes, and
Sometimes
it's not, yeah, most of the time probably.
a lot of
And in our
like,
case, we've had bad experiences where there was no one to carry the illusions after the show, and we have to kind of be the porters and carry them as well. And tell me about it. I mean,
oh no,
it's
no, I mean,
it's
I do the same thing. I mean, if I have a look, if you're in Now You See Me, for example, there's a really big stage crew, and they're so nice, and you don't have to do anything yourself. Almost to the point where it's a bit scary. Like, do you want me to help? I feel you're very busy, and I'm just standing here. But if I get booked for like a corporate or a solo show, then I'll just do it myself. Like, I load the truck, I
exactly.
drive the truck. I don't mind. I think that's part
Oh
of the
wow,
charm.
that's true. In fact, Shenal is based out of. He's a good friend of us, and he's based in Singapore. He missed the Now You See Me live in Singapore. He bought the tickets and all. He was looking forward. And I was so jealous because I knew he's going to see you guys. I think I messaged you saying I would try my best if it's possible to be there.
Yeah. Well, you know what?
Yeah.
You know, I missed Now You See Me in Singapore because um, actually everything was going well. Like, they even shipped all my flight cases off.
Oh, is that
So,
so?
I mean, Corona was there, but we didn't understand how bad it was, I think. So all my flight cases had gone. I had packed my suitcases and everything. And then I think I was supposed to fly on the Friday or something. And on the Wednesday, they said, "Nah, Sabine, you're not going. Like, we're not going."
Oh,
And I was just like,
that's good.
no. I love Singapore. I've been there already 3 times. And
Wow.
especially, we were going to play in Marina Bay Sands. I mean, hello. We weren't going to live
Exactly.
there, unfortunately. I mean, I was like, "Oh, do we stay in the hotel?" They were like, "No." I was like, "That's a shame." But
I
yeah,
think very recently Shenal was there with his wife. He had a good time at Marina Bay Sands
yeah, I
because
believe so. Oh my
yeah,
god.
now it's a great place to be. And another funny thing was Shin Lim was there about 1.5 years ago, and we like Chanel was supposed to meet him. I missed the email, and we missed the opportunity to meet Shin Lim. That's exactly a day before he was announced the champion of America's Got Talent.
Oh
And
no,
I was
that's
feeling so bad. It was a chance for Chanel to meet him, and it was supposed to be at
oh,
Marina Bay.
no, that's a shame. And Sheehan
That's
is
a
such a
shame.
nice guy. Also, he would have
Exactly.
loved to have met you, I'm sure.
Exactly. And you were part of Impossible as well, right? Impossible did a round to Singapore, if I'm not mistaken. Were
Yeah,
you part
that
of that?
was me. Yeah, I was in the Kallang Theater. I remember it well. Yeah, I have a juicy detail about that actually, because
Okay.
I can say now, because it's like 3 years later now, or 4 years later, I don't know. But so we were playing in the Kallang Theater,
Uh-huh.
but on opening night, we only played the first half of the show, and
Oh.
yeah, and they played a tape saying, "Oh, because of technical difficulties, we cannot do the second half." But that wasn't true,
Oh.
because we already knew we were going to play only the first half, because we didn't have time technically to do a run through up to the second half. We wasted so much time with loading, lighting, and all that stuff. So when we started the show, we knew some people, like Josephine, she wasn't even able to perform because she was in the second half.
Oh dear.
She did her makeup and everything just for the opening. And then they played like a tape, like, "Oh, sorry, due to technical difficulties, we cannot play the second half." And then the next day, the newspapers in Singapore slayed us. They were like, "Yeah, it's
Gosh.
bad," and they only did one half, and we were all like, "Oh, I'm so
Oh
embarrassed."
dear.
Yeah.
So Shenal says he watched the live show, so maybe it wasn't the opening night.
Oh, well, then he only saw one half.
Oh, so was there only one show in Singapore?
No. 2 weeks.
Okay, so he must have seen probably not the opening night.
I
He
hope.
must have seen the full thing.
Let's
Shenal,
hope
you
so.
can comment and let us know. And the Impossible show actually started in West London, if I'm not mistaken, right?
So actually, Impossible started the year before in the West End.
Oh,
I wasn't
West
there.
End, yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't
right.
there then. I was still with Hans on tour. And the next time in the West End, it was in 2016. And that is when I joined. And that's where this poster is from. And then we played 2 months in the West End. And it was my first solo
Wow.
performance in the West End.
Brilliant. So you've been in almost probably all the big productions of magic, right? You've been in the West End, you've been in Broadway, you've been in China and around the world with the Illusionists, and now you see me. Amazing,
Yeah.
isn't it? And
Yeah.
Holland's Got Talent, right?
I know. I did Holland's Got Talent in 2017. Yeah, I don't know what I think about that.
Wow. So Sriran says he has postcards from Impossible and it was not the opening night.
Good for him.
So tell us a bit about the Illusionist, how it went, and what's the whole feeling about. I think you did the tour in Australia, Mexico, and Asia, is it?
Yeah, this one. I did 2 tours actually. I didn't do Australia. I did Canada and the US. And
Okay.
then I did again a year later. I did again Canada, the US, and Mexico.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I was almost 2 years away from my home, so that was, challenging. But it was such a great time. I mean, it was a tour, so it was almost every 3 days a new theater. I think I have seen everything of America.
Wow.
I've been in more states than a normal American has been, and
Amazing.
it was a lot of traveling, but it was so cool, and the guys are just so sweet. I speak to them all still. I can ask them for magic advice, or just call them and say, "Hey, how are you? And how are you in lockdown?" It was so amazing. It was the best time of my life.
Amazing, and to work with these large productions, and is there any story that you would like to relate to us in any of these large productions? Something that of course you told about Impossible, but something that's really memorable.
Let me think. Well, what I just remember the most is, for example, when you sleep in a tour bus. So you do a show in the evening, and then you shower in your dressing room, and you get in your pajamas and everything, and you go into the bus, and then everyone sits there. I'm there with Halim and with Colin Cloud, and we're just all sitting there being tired, drinking a little glass of wine and having some pizza and stuff, watching a movie. Then you go to your bed in the bus.
Wow.
And you're driving overnight, and sometimes in the morning, like, you wake up and you're, for example, in Key West, Florida, and you wake up and there's just ocean everywhere, and it's beautiful weather, and you literally take 2 steps and you're into the theater again, but a new theater. and you have no idea how you got there because you slept through the night. You shower again in your dressing room. So in the morning you get into the theater in your pajamas, going all like, "Where is my dressing room?" And the technicians are already up and building the show, for hours. And then
Wow.
you always have to rehearse around 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So before that, you have the time to yourself. So you just wander around and you have a coffee, and I don't know, that whole life on tour is just so special. And also in the evening, you do a show, and it's such different audience. Do you know what I mean? Like the north of America or the south of America or the west or the east is such different people. Everywhere you go, the audience is responding differently, and it's just amazing. I have so many stories, I don't even know where to begin.
Definitely, and I mean that's something we will never experience over here in Sri Lanka because we are a small island and it's 65,000 kilometers.
It makes it easy.
It doesn't, though it sounds that way. It will still take probably a day to take us through one end to the other end, not because of anything, because of bad traffic and road conditions. But other than that, we don't have those large tour buses, and we will never see that unless probably one of our magicians make it to a large production like you are in. But I'm sure it's an amazing experience. I've seen these on Bieber's documentary and stuff like that. That's when I really realized people do really sleep while they travel in these, huge tour buses. So I'm sure it would have been an amazing experience.
Yeah, it's just crazy. You really go into this tour bubble, and it's like a different life.
Wow. So do you really miss that? I'm sure you do these days, right?
I miss it, but also I am very happy to be home.
That is also true. And
Yeah.
you must be home after a long time, I believe, for a longer period.
Yeah, I have never been home this long before.
Wow.
I bought a house in Amsterdam in November of 2017, and I left the 1st of December 2017 for 2.5
Oh.
years. So when I came home, I was like, "Oh yeah, this is where I live." I have no idea. It didn't feel like home. And now, because of COVID and everything, that was the only good thing actually COVID brought me, is that I'm now home, and I know now where everything is in my house. I know where the ports are. I know where I can find stuff in my own house, so that's kind of fun. No, I'm happy, but I had a gig a month ago, and I was in a hotel for 2 nights, and I just
Wow.
kept telling my boyfriend. I said, "I miss you so much. I don't know how I did this."
Wow.
When
So
you
you got used to that life now.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So
I mean-
Shenal is asking, is home in Vegas or Amsterdam? It's definitely Amsterdam, right?
Yes, home is in Amsterdam. Although I had a second home in Vegas, but now because of Corona, I gave that up because it cost a lot of money, and I can't go there anyway now. So
Exactly.
yeah, there's no point.
Exactly.
But I love Vegas. It's like my second hometown.
So
Amazing,
Sabine,
I mean.
who is your favorite? I mean, who is a role model as a magician?
Oh, who's my role model? I have so many. So
I can see.
of course, Hans, because he is just. I love how he performs. I love the music, and I love the costumes, and I love the running, and the hysteria a little bit. But who I also admire enormously is Colin Cloud.
Oh wow. Okay.
And he knows this because I tell him all the time. Because you know what it is? Colin is one of my dear friends, and he is always the first one to invent something new. So, for example, he had his own show, with Shin Lim in Vegas, and
Of
I've
course.
been there. It's an amazing show. It's people were crazy. It's in the Mirage. It was great. But then it was COVID, and he couldn't perform anymore. And I think he was the first one with an online selling magic show, and he just did 2 shows a night.
Exactly.
sold out. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Definitely. I watched his show. I watched it online.
he's amazing. He just keeps
Exactly.
evolving, you know. He is not lazy. He will immediately, yeah, just think of something new to do. And so I love him a lot. I mean, I love Halim. He is from South Korea. And he's a card manipulator. And I love his act.
Mhm.
I love him more as a person. Like, Halim is for me the person, the magician I know with the, oh, my Siri is going crazy. Sorry, that was Siri going off. For me, he has such discipline that everyone can learn from that kind of discipline. He practices every day. He does, he goes to the gym. He's a bodybuilder. He is now a vegan. Everything he does, he just does 100% right. And that's to me just, and I see the question, Harry Houdini, yes, of course, he's an icon, legend. I mean, if it wasn't for Harry Houdini, here he is. Oh, here he is. Half of the things that we do now wouldn't exist, probably.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
then speaking of Harry Houdini, I really, really love Mark Kalin and Ginger.
Wow.
And then especially Ginger. No offense to Mark, I love Mark, but Ginger is one of the first. Yeah. Oh, here we are. Ginger, to me, has brought a new dimension to a duo performance when it comes to the male-female role. Like, she was one of the first people to perform and to make Mark her equal. It wasn't Mark was in charge or,
Exactly.
no, she was very much in charge, and I love her a lot. I think she is so charismatic, elegant, beautiful performer. But I can go on and on. I see here Raymond Crow. Raymond Crow is the best in physical comedy, how he uses his body, his timing,
Amazing. And miming.
mime.
He's a mime. Yeah.
And you know what I love about Raymond Crow? You can always talk to him about yourself. And that sounds a bit strange, but a lot of magicians, they like to talk about their selves, When you sometimes ask, like, can you help me? They will talk about their career. And you think, well, I kind of asked you if you could help me, but talk about, how great you are. But he doesn't do that. He will talk with you about you. And he is one of the very few magicians. And then here I see Hobson, who is out of this world. He is like, I texted him 2 weeks ago. I said, you need a TV show. And then he said, okay, you can be my manager. So, and then I see Jonathan Goodwin, who I need to name, because without Jonathan Goodwin, I wouldn't have been in The Illusionist.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, like he actually was the start of my big American career. He asked me first to be his assistant because he does danger acts. And he was like, hey, can I shoot crossbows around your heads? And I was like, oh my God. And I know I look sort of fearless, like, oh, I'll jump in a water cell and, oh, yeah, you can shoot crossbows. But I'm actually always afraid. And people that know me, they know that I'm a really terrified person. Like, I'm afraid. I am not cool at all. Like, I am afraid. I'm a chicken. So...
But if you say that, you make us feel, I don't know whether there's a chickenish word, but it makes it worse for us, right? Because you're still doing it. You're still doing it, right?
No, I know. I mean, I do it, but don't ever think that I'm fearless, because next time you see a performance of me, just think, oh, she is so scared right now. Because that's the case. The only time I'm not scared is at the end when I take my bow.
Wow.
This is the best part, I'm still alive.
Wow. But I think we should tell everyone who's watching, please search Sabine van Diemen, her page, her channel on YouTube, and you will find these amazing interviews. It's called 21 Questions. Yeah, and it's amazing. So much of things that you can get from all these, giants with Sabine, Jeff Hobson, Colin Cloud, Hans Klock, Darcy Oak, Raymond Crow, Carlin and Ginger, Jonathan,
Yeah.
and
And I did one with Pendragon, but it's not online yet. And
oh
I did it
wow,
Yeah, I did it with Halloween, so it's a long time ago, and I'm dressed up as a werewolf, so ignore that part. But I will put it online because it was actually a live, a bit like this, like a question and answering. But now I think, I have the footage. I should really put it up on YouTube for everyone to see because he gives some amazing tips and advice. So stay tuned because I will put that up like next week or something.
Please do, definitely. We would definitely want to watch that. And
Yeah.
and the question I have was, you partially answered it. I took these photographs. I think this is the metamorphosis, if I'm not mistaken, which you have in the middle at the bottom. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the bed of death and straight jacket and the water torch cell. So these are like amazingly. I think probably metamorphosis is not really that dangerous comparatively, but the others are dangerous in some sense. How did
Yeah.
you get into this? I mean, it's not easy, especially even for a guy to think of illusions and escape. It's a tough thing, and being a female magician to take escape as your main thing. How did you get into it?
Okay, so I will talk you through all of those pictures because this is going to blow your mind. The only one I agreed to in these photos is the sub trunk, okay? It's the
Okay.
metamorphosis. And at the table of death, I actually agreed to, but I agreed to do it without fire. But as you can see, there is lots of fire. So, yeah, how did it happen? Okay, I'll start on the right, or for me on the right. You can see me hanging upside down, right, in a straitjacket. So that was for the BBC. Funny story. Jonathan Goodwin, he was supposed to do that for the BBC on television, but he was stuck in America and he couldn't get over to England. I don't know why, but he couldn't get over. And he was like, okay, so can you please hang upside down for the BBC? You have a straitjacket, right? And I said, I do have a straitjacket because I do a straitjacket tango. So I dance a tango and I get out of very safe. But so here,
if I'm not mistaken, that you have a video of that in the Hippodrome Casino, right?
Yes, correct. You've done your research. So, so what you see me hanging here upside down, right, in front of the camera. That was the first time ever I hung upside down.
Wow.
And Ryan, my partner, he was there, and I said to him, I'm so scared. I'm so freaking scared. Don't tell anyone that I've never hung upside down.
Gosh.
So I hung there, and I just thought, oh, yeah, okay. Oh, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. And so, and it went well, but, they never knew. I mean, if they're watching this interview now, they know, but they never knew that I had never hung upside down before. So
a personal question, Sabine. I've always wanted to do an upside down straitjacket escape. How do you really feel when the blood starts flowing to your head and, when your face becomes, warmer? Is it really, really uncomfortable more than the escape? What's the risk like? I really want to do it one day, but I'm still thinking.
Just do it because do you know what it is? It's not comfortable. And all of a sudden it feels like your heartbeat is in your head. So your head goes like this. But it's actually more uncomfortable when you turn the right way around again. Because then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I am dizzy. Oh, I'm seeing all these twinkly stars. Like, what's happening? So you need to take it easy when you go the right way up, actually.
Wow.
And the thing is, what I've learned, I hate all of these things, to be honest. I am afraid of all of these things. But you need to stay calm.
That's right.
It sounds easy, but it's not. But, get into heavy meditation, get into breathing exercises, get into really calming your brain so that you don't think, oh my God, I'm hanging upside down. Oh my God, burning flames around me. Oh my God, I'm in. Oh my God, my hands are not getting loose. Oh my, like that is the biggest thing. Don't do that. Just think, I'm gonna have some nice dinner when this is over, and tomorrow, I'm gonna have a nice cup of coffee in the sun. Try to think positive things and calm your mind, and that will really help because this is all horrible. But I have to say, you said that the metamorphosis is the safest, but I think the most pain from all of these things you'll get
That
from
is
the
true.
metamorphosis.
That's true. That's true. You get a lot of bruises out of it, right?
Except for the water tank. One time
Yeah.
I jumped in from I was sitting on top, right? And I have all the chains and I jumped in, but I leaned over too much and I hit my head on the front
Gosh.
and then went into the water. And then I had to hold my breath. So that,
Gosh.
and then I thought, why are you so stupid? You're so dumb.
Gosh, but I can't imagine the water torture cell is something I probably might not do in my lifetime. I don't think I could have the capacity to do that, honestly. But
Well,
it's something I wanted when I was young, but not anymore, probably.
but it's important that you get a good trainer and
That's right.
working with Cirque du Soleil and the Illusionist, I was lucky that I got one of the
Exactly.
best people in Las Vegas. His name is Seamus. He trains all the people that do the show for Cirque du Soleil. It's called O. Do you know the water
Oh,
show?
yeah. Where they dive into the middle, and
Yeah.
I've seen clips of it.
Yeah, so he trains all those acrobats, and
Wow.
I got to work with him for 2 weeks. And he takes you into the pool, and first you do 30 seconds, then you do 45 seconds, then you do a minute, then you do
Wow.
a minute and 15 seconds, then you do a minute and 20 seconds, and that's how you sort of build it up. And even now, when I'm not in training, I try to sometimes still do it in the bathtub, but
Wow.
don't do it alone. Like I do it with
Exactly.
Ryan. He holds my hand, and every 10 seconds he will like squeeze it, and I squeeze back. And if I
All right.
don't squeeze back, he immediately takes me out of the water.
Yeah, because you can have carbon dioxide poisoning, right?
Yes, but to be honest, that takes a while. You don't
That's
have
right.
that from holding your breath for a minute. It's just, again, it is the brain, and the buildup of the dioxide makes it uncomfortable.
Mhm.
And then your mind goes, I need to breathe. I need to breathe.
Oh,
But your body is actually still fully oxygenated.
all
It
right.
takes 3 to 4 minutes for your body to not have enough. And your mind will never go to 3 minutes because the will to live, let's say it that way, is too high. So you will
Push
come up.
yourself.
Yeah, you will come up around 230, 240. Yeah.
Shenal is asking a question I had as well. Has anything terribly gone wrong?
Yes. So, of course, the bumping of the head before going into the water wasn't
Uh-huh.
great.
Yeah.
Especially because I chafed my head, so I had blood in water. It looks horrible. So when I came out, the audience thought, "What happened?" Like I had blood. It
Oh.
it wasn't good for families. Let's put it that way. It was a horror show. And I remember we were with Impossible in Dubai, and we did a run through, and I don't know what happened, but someone pushed the handle to drop the spikes on the table of
Mhm.
death, and
Mhm.
luckily the safeties were still in, so it fell on top of the safeties, but they were like this far from my nose, burning flames. And those are moments that you're like, oh, why am I doing this? Like, I don't get paid enough to do this.
Have you contemplated like I'm not going to do it here after that, and later you kind of think, okay, let me try it again.
No, you know what? I normally say, let's do it immediately again. Because if you wait, you're going to create and develop this fear. And you have to understand for yourself, this was a little accident. That
Exactly.
never happens. So if I do it now again, it will go well. And then it goes well, and you're immediately, your fear is over. You know, I mean,
Exactly.
I was doing Magic Live in Las Vegas with Jonathan Goodwin, and we did a chain reaction with crossbows. But we had never done it before. So the first time was at Magic Live.
Was this
Dumb.
2017?
Yes. So
Oh, we
super.
were there. Shenal and myself, we were in Vegas.
Did you see the show?
Yeah, I
That
saw it, and what we heard was one of the shows the crossbow went away, right?
I was about to say that actually. So we are
Oh.
loading the arrows in all the crossbows, and on an accident, Jonathan kicks he wants to move to the next crossbow, and he kicks the stand of the crossbow, and it fires, and it literally went like this. Beep.
Oh,
And I look at him, and I heard the whole audience going, like, including Siegfried and Roy. Do you know what I mean? And I just look at him, and he went like, "You good?" And I was like, "Yeah." And I went into the wing. I got the arrow, and I brought it back, and we sort of looked at each other like, "Let's do it again." And
wow.
we loaded them again, and I shot. He catches the arrow, and the people just went crazy because, yeah, I mean, let's be honest. We were like, shall we always do this? Because it was
Exactly.
crazy. Yeah.
Exactly, because I think we watched the show, the performance immediately after that, and I think it was the host or someone who mentioned about it, and we thought it's a publicity stunt. We really thought, you all did it by purpose to build the suspense.
No, but I mean, it really worked. So we did thought about it, but it was too dangerous. Like, no, just no.
Oh gosh, and even the whole act. I mean, we were on pins watching it from the audience point, because you always feel like, what if an arrow misfires on the stage or comes towards the audience? You're like literally holding to your chest, right?
I mean, so many times where, like, because when I do the show, I have my hair up. Now I'm in Corona time, so I don't. But normally the hair is up, and the balloon is a little bit above my head. And then
Exactly.
Jonathan says, "I can see when you're afraid because your hair is higher, so there is more space between my head and the balloon." But the amount of times he shoot in my hair, and I want to stand up, but I cannot because my hair is attached to the thing. And yeah, it's just, I don't know. Crossbows, I am sort of comfortable with, but sometimes you just get it in your head. You think, tonight he's going to shoot me.
Oh gosh, I can imagine.
You're sitting there and you think, tonight it's going to go wrong, but that's just your brain.
That's true. But amazing. I mean, these are amazing stories, and I really didn't know what to expect from you when I knew I'm going to ask these questions, but they're really, really amazing. And the thing is, we never get to hear these type of stories, or as you said, we don't get that exposure in Sri Lanka to even find anyone who could advise you on these things. So I can tell everyone who's watching, there's so much of safety, so much of planning that goes behind this. So don't try them just because you think you can do it.
No.
You really need professional help, and there are professionals who are behind building these things. As a youngster, I've been stupid, and I've done some stupid things without knowing at that age. I mean, just because I saw a magic act, I've done certain things, but I realized I've been lucky. And
Yeah.
you should not take that risk. If you really don't know
No.
what you're doing, you should not.
I mean, the thing is, these props are built for us, and they are tested, and that's why
Exactly.
they cost a lot of money because of safety. And then still, the props are good. We train, we have the best trainers, and you're prepared, and there's technicians around, and then still sometimes it goes wrong. So yeah,
Exactly.
can you imagine, never
I
try.
can remember Franz talking about the spike illusions he built for Michael Jackson. He had the safety mechanism in place, but he was so overconfident in one of his shows, he didn't have the safety mechanism in place, and a spike went through his hand. So you should never take risks if you don't know what you're doing. So it's always advisable, always buy it from the right person, get the professional help, and do it with a lot of practice. I mean, never try this for granted. I mean, Sabine is so experienced, she's flexible, she knows what she's doing, but she's still talking about how scary it is, right?
Yeah.
So just a
Sabine,
warning for anyone who's watching.
I have one
Yeah.
question for you. So, how many water torture performances have you performed so far?
Every night, and Now You See Me. So that's 10 weeks, and sometimes twice a day. So it's 10 weeks, 7 days. No, let's say 60, maybe 100, maybe 100.
Brilliant, brilliant.
Wow. That's 1/3 of a year, right? Amazing.
It's horrible. Don't do it. The thing is, like now they've asked me if I wanted to do a TV show in the UK, and it's very funny format. Like they have like 10 people or something, and they need to guess your profession. And they're never gonna guess my profession, of course. So it's gonna be fun. They're probably gonna say, "Oh, she is a flight attendant," or I don't know, whatever. And then in the end, you can show yourself on TV. Great. So I pitched them the 3 swords, and I pitched them even vacuum escape and all that stuff. No, what do they want? The water cell.
Gosh. And
So-
that's really, really a difficult setup, right? You need to have mineral water, you have to have pumps in, you have to drain it, you have to heat it. Do you have heated water or you go on normal water?
No. So no. I have heated water because you can last longer if the water is a comfortable temperature. It should be a little bit colder than your body temperature. So in degrees, your body temperature is like 36.5 degrees Celsius.
Mhm.
And then, so if the water is 30, 32, that's comfortable. You can hold your breath kind of long. But in China, we were touring not theaters, but we were touring like big arenas, like hockey arena or a basketball arena. And they sometimes didn't have the facilities to have hot water. And if we load in the morning and we have to do the show in the evening, there's not enough time to put like a little mini heater in to get all this water. It's like 80 gallons of water
Exactly.
heated. So then I had to do it in cold water, and it was just,
Oh.
it's just, I like, you sit on the edge, you put your feet in, and you think, oh, can I not?
Wow, that's amazing. And one thing in Sri Lanka is none of the theaters would allow you to have a water torture cell. They won't allow water. Yeah, they won't allow water to be used on the theater. And number 2, I don't think any of the stages can take that level of weightage. They
Right,
will always have issues.
Well,
And-
great. I'll come to Sri Lanka. I don't have to do it. The other thing-
We can do it in a lake or something.
Oh, no, can you imagine?
How has the experience been being on Penn Teller Fool Us?
That was also amazing because of 2 things. I got asked to do Penn and Teller. That was already wow, like wow. I just got an email. Hi, you're selected for. Wow. And then I was like, yes, we're going to Vegas, and I'm taking my voice to Vegas because they had never been, and because with the Illusionist you get your own assistants,
Exactly.
So and then Corona, so that was a bit not nice, especially not for the boys. But then I got to talking with the production of Fool Us, and they were like, yeah, can you record something remote? And I said, I want to record something remote, but only if we can do it outside and I can show my country. Because, you all American, and I think you love to see Holland, not just seeing a great trick, but also seeing the water and the windmill. And, it's nicer than a theater. The theater could have been everywhere. I could have recorded it in Sri Lanka in the theater. They would have never known. So, and it was really cool because we were in a creative Zoom, and there was one little screen. There were 12 people because it's a big organization. There were 12 people, and one screen was like black, and there was no name. And but the audio was on, and so I was actually the first one to say, "Can I do it outside?" And they were like,
Right.
thank you, Sabine. This is such a good idea. Like, we're going to ask other illusionists from other countries if they could also do it outside. Now,
Wow.
are you okay with that? I said, yeah, of course I'm okay with that. And then we talked through the act. And then, okay, we're going to do 3 swords and blah, blah, blah. And then at the end of the conversation, I just hear Penn go, in his voice, thank you very much, Sabine, and thank you so much for your input, and it's going to be amazing. And I just was like this behind my laptop.
What?
Holy! And that was that little black screen without the name. That
So
was
that
just
was Penn.
that was Penn.
Wow.
Yeah, and that was just
Wow.
that was just so cool.
But I think it would have been also cool if Johnny Thompson was around as well, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it would have. That would have topped it. But I'm happy. I'm happy how it went. I'm happy with how the footage looks.
Yeah,
But
I loved it. It was a nice performance and a different way of performing, definitely.
yeah, thank you. And I know, of course, we're all magicians here. I knew I wasn't going to fool them because it's, again, I like performing the classics because I still remember when I saw 3 swords for the first time, I thought, how?
Exactly.
Hey, Arun.
I thought you were demonstrating Penn by going, in black screen.
Yeah. I thought he's practicing the water torture cell in the bath.
No, I took my charger. Laptop charger.
Oh, the battery. Okay. So I have one last photograph before we open up for, I think we have few more minutes. There was one illusion in the world that had been performed over 100 years, and people are talking about it recently. But this is the very first time that I've seen it done this way. A man in a box and a man cut in half.
That's 2021 for you. Well, actually, this was 2016. This photograph is taken on the West End for the promotion photos for Impossible. And this is also, I performed this in Singapore as well, in the Kallang Theater. It's just fun. And I always wanted to cut a man in half because it's just funny, And it took still, especially the Wakeling. I think the Ellen Wakeling for me is the best version of cutting in half.
Definitely.
Because of the straps. And
it's very engaging, right? The audience is right there. They're part of it.
Yeah, but they're holding the strap, so how?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, where I am, how is it possible? Because it's still tension on the strap. But also because I'm a girl, but I have short hair, and I wanted to do it in a tuxedo, like a proper magician.
Yeah, exactly.
And I just wanted to, it's the new times. It's the new times of magic.
And that's exactly the whole reason why we invited you, because we have seen very less female magicians in around the world, and definitely in Sri Lanka. We've had few up and down, but they haven't consistently performed. Right. So we hope you will be an inspiration. You are definitely an inspiration for me to do some escapes that I've been putting behind. So definitely, I hope you will also be an inspiration to the other female magicians to get up there, break the taboo, believe in themselves, and go ahead and really do your stuff. Sorry, Arun, you had a question.
Yeah, I have a small video for Sabine. Shall I play that, Yasas?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, Sabine. Okay, Sabine, tell us about this, and who is the brave man in front of you?
You are becoming so dangerous. You want to cut men in half, and you have whips around you. I'm so scared.
I have to say, full disclaimer, I love men. It's not the problem. Like, I don't want to, it's not like I'm trying to kill you one by one. No.
So tell us about that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is me in Las Vegas in the desert. So this was my performance for Holland's Got Talent.
Oh, wow.
Um, so this was all Jonathan Goodwin, his idea. I think he had this fantasy. I don't know, but we were talking. What can we do on Holland's Got Talent that is kind of magic, kind of stunt, dangerous, but doable. So we just did some crazy things. There is like this superhero training center in Las Vegas where you can train all sorts of martial arts weapon, like swords and nunchucks and just everything. And they also had a whip, and I was like, "Ooh, this is kind of cool." This is Catwoman. So I tried, but do you know how difficult it is to crack a whip, like to make that sound?
No
Yeah.
It's
idea.
so difficult. You have no idea. Like in the beginning, I kept hitting the back of my own head. So and my neck and my back of my legs were all bruised because I just kept hitting myself. And all of a sudden, you have it, and you're like, oh, this is how you do it. And then it's like crossing the street. You will forever be able to do it. So then we decided, okay, how can we make this into an act? So, because I wanted to be a bit dancey and because that's my background, we decided to have 5 candles in a round, and I would like whip out the candlesticks. So that's how I start. And it's super difficult. Like I miss 2 or 3 constantly, but it's nice to watch. and but we felt like there needs to be an ending. Do you know what I mean? Like, okay, it's impressive, the candles, but
Yeah.
there needs to be a cool ending that people go, no way. So we decided to do the flower out of the mouth to whip it. But then we thought that's still not magic. How is it going to be magic? So then we decided, okay, we're going to ask the person, a man, of course, because we're doing that game now, so it's fun. So we're going to ask a man to have a flower in his mouth. And then we're going to ask a number between 1 and 10. So they say 5 or 3 or 7, doesn't matter. I then blindfold, whip the flower out of his mouth, and then the number he named, let's say 5, you can see this in my Holland's Got Talent video. 5 petals are left on the flower, and that's where the magic comes in.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
cool. That's so cool and it's so neat, right? I never thought of that. I was wondering, so how is it going to end up? Amazing.
So, well, it was a process, and like a week before I went on Holland's Got Talent, I still had no idea how to do it. I still had no idea how to do it. And I was sitting, literally, I was trying to come up with it myself. And I was sitting in between all these fake flowers in my warehouse with a glue gun and like crying and magnets and stuff, crying like, this is never going to work. And all of a sudden, someone walks in, a Dutch magician, Peter Vogel is his name. I do online shows with him. He walks in and he has the answer out of the nothing. And I had been sitting there for like days crying. And he said, why don't you do blah, blah, blah?
This.
And I thought, oh. And then it worked.
But the good thing is you had an idea and it was done in a very, very unique way. And probably the only person who has ever done that in that way, right? I haven't seen anyone doing a trick with a whip.
No, I have to say, I've seen a lot of girls pick up a bullwhip after and trying, and they all quit. Because I know every time I now on Instagram see a girl with a bullwhip, I think, good luck. It's virtually impossible. It takes so much practice. Like I stood up, went outside, clap, constantly target training. Like I'm not even afraid for the competition because they're gonna give up. Because I would give up.
Amazing. So much of lessons from you, Sabine. I mean, the tenacity you have, the courage you have, and the love to do new things. So there's a question from Shanal. What's next? What do you want to achieve in your magic career next?
What is next? Oh God, I am really happy with what I'm doing now, and I I love both big shows. So I love The Illusionists, but I also love Now You See Me because it's a bit more acting. I kind of like the acting part of Now You See Me, you know. And The Illusionist is just you come on, you do your act, and then the next person, you know.
Mhm.
But in Now You See Me, you're really together, and you have lines and like the script, and I really
Oh,
like.
wow.
And I would just love to take again, Now You See Me, to Singapore, but I would love to do an Asian tour again where we don't do China. So I would, you know, I want to go to Japan. I want to go to Sri Lanka. I want to go to
Of
Singapore.
course.
I want to go to Malaysia. I want to go to Australia still. You know, just tour that part of the world with Now You See Me is actually, yeah, that's top of my list right now.
So
Yeah.
that was something I was going to say. Now, Dulil and Dulara say Sri Lanka had the first female prime minister in the world and the first female president in the world. So we do respect women in a great level. And every time we have Night of Illusions in Sri Lanka, there is definitely at least one female in an act. We had Neil and Ashley, we had Clairvoyance, we had Amelie, and then we had Stacy from Danny and Cole. So Sri Lanka is a paradise island. We definitely want more international artists to come. So when things are back to normal, hopefully we would like to have you back. Stay here. We would like to have you, Sabine. We will invite you. Let's figure out what you're going to do, what death you're going to escape in Sri Lanka, but we'll figure out it. But
we
definitely
can,
we'd want
we
to
can
have you.
escape from anything, you know. And aside from escaping, like I love, like I said, I love the classics, so Three Swords and you know all those kind of things. So I'm sure we can definitely come up with some cool things to do. And thank you for being so progressive and being so, you know, on it for such a relatively, and I mean this with all the respect, but relatively small country being so, you know, open to the new world. That means a lot, and I just hope that, you know, female performers wherever they are in magic will step up their game a little bit, because you know what it is, you guys and also me, we have such great role models like Jonathan Pendragon, like David Copperfield, like Siegfried and Roy. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
But where is the Beyonce of magic? Where is
Exactly.
the woman that we can all look up to and go, oh yes, I want to do that? So, and I'm definitely not it, but I hope someone after me, like a younger girl, can be the
Exactly.
Beyonce of magic, and we'll have that person to look up to, like David Copperfield.
Definitely, and I'm sure we are not far away from that. I see
No,
so many girls really now picking up and doing great stuff. In fact, from Sri Lanka, we had a small competition for the International Brotherhood of Magicians Youth Conference, and the person who won it in Sri Lanka was a girl, and she actually was an audience member in 2016 Night of Illusions, and she was picked by Sean Farquhar as the audience member. That really bugged her into getting into magic, and she started
amazing.
learning. She came for a workshop and she won this, so we got her a scholarship to participate because it was virtual last year. So hopefully, you know, you never know, we might
That's
have,
amazing.
yeah, it might be a female who really makes that international name from Sri Lanka. You never know.
Who knows? Who knows? And who cares? You know?
Exactly. I'm sorry, I'm rushing, Sabine, because you said you have something you have to run for. We've taken the show 1 hour and 9 minutes. You said you can take up to 10 minutes.
Yeah,
You are
I have
most
to do
welcome to
another.
stay.
Yeah, I can do another 5 minutes. Like I have to leave at
Brilliant.
quarter
Yasas,
past for me.
we forgot one thing. Magic
The
quiz.
quiz. No, I
Yeah.
remembered it, Arun, but I wanted to talk with Sabine so much. I thought if she
Okay.
has to leave, we'll still have the quiz without
Okay.
her, on about her. So Sabine, since you're here, we always have a quiz. And then we have, if it's a magician, they get 1 hour mentorship with Arun and me. If they're a non-magician, we are planning a virtual magic workshop, so they get a chance to be part of it. And the
Cool.
question is asked based on the guest who is there. So you can ask an easy question about what we discussed about your story, something easy. The first person who answers it gets the chance to win this. So till you think of the question, we'll run the intro and you can ask a question.
Okay.
It can be something easy. So I'll run the intro first.
Okay.
So welcome to Magic Quiz. Magic Quiz එකට සහභාගී වෙන්න ඕගොල්ලන්ට මෙන්න අවස්ථාව. අපි අද අපිත් එක්ක කනෙක්ට් වෙලා ඉන්නේ Sabine van Diemen. එයාගෙන් ප්‍රශ්නයක් අපි අහමු. ඒ ප්‍රශ්නෙට පළවෙනිටම අපිට උත්තර දෙන එක්කෙනාට හම්බ වෙනවා එක්කෝ මැජිෂියන් කෙනෙක් නා අපිත් එක්ක 1-to-1 mentorship එකක්. එහෙම නැත්නම් ඕගොල්ලන්ට chance එකක් හම්බ වෙනවා අපි virtual workshop එකට අපිත් එක්ක සහභාගී වෙන්න. So Sabine, have you thought of a question?
Yes, I have thought of a question. I've thought of 2 questions, but maybe one is too difficult. So I'm going to go for the easy one, I think, right?
Okay, so the first person who types it in the comment section will be the winner. Last time we had King Alavak, who was the winner. If you guys remember, I really don't know what his real name is. He never inboxed us. So let's see who the winner is this time. Over to you,
Okay.
Sabine.
Already put your fingers above your keyboard because it's an easy question. So everyone should blah, 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 like start typing
Yeah.
quick. Here we go. What was the name of the show I toured with in China?
Wow, that's an easy one.
What was the
Yeah.
name of the show I toured with in China?
Type in. There's a 5-second delay on Facebook, so let's see. Let's see how it goes. Let's see who the winner is. And past winners should not participate.
No. So the king cannot participate.
King cannot. I saw one answer. Arun, has he participated before? I know he answers all questions, but
Yeah.
any other answers? What was the show? Sabine China වල perform කරපු show එකේ නම මොකක්ද? ලේසි
Very easy
උත්තරේ. Very easy question. මුලින් ඉඳන් ඔයගොල්ලෝ බැලුවා නම් අපි සෑහෙනෙක් ගැන කිව්වා, අපි සෑහෙන ඇඩ්වර්ටයිස් කරා.
කියන මූවි එකකුත් ඇවිල්ලා තියෙනවා.
ඒකනේ.
ඒකනේ.
අපේ මේ අපේ ෂෙනල් උත්තරේ හරිද වැරදිද කියන්නේ නැහැ. අපි ෂෙනල්ව ගන්න බෑ. මොකද ෂෙනල් ෆ්‍රාන්ස් හරහාගේ ටී-ෂර්ට් එක දින්නා. රංග පියුමල් වත් දිනලා තියෙනවා. We still haven't got an answer from a non-winner, so we are waiting for a person to answer who has not won.
No, come on, people. See, it wasn't so easy then.
Oh, දුලීලන් දුලාර ඕගොල්ලොත් ගිය පාර උත්තරේ සහභාගී වුණා එකක. එහෙනම් ඕගොල්ලන්ටත් සහභාගී වෙන්න බෑ. So the past winners are only answering.
Those are the real magic geeks. They're on it.
ඉක්මනට උත්තරයක්. We are waiting for an answer. දිනේෂුත් දන්නා දිනේෂුත් winner කෙනෙක්. Oh, it's a easy one. We can give a hint. කමන්න ෂෙනල් දිනන්නෙත් නෑ. ෂෙනල් කලින් දිනලා තියෙනවා. විහංගව උත්තරේ දන්නවනවාට දාන්න පුළුවන්.
ඉතින් ඩෝංගල් උත්තර දෙන්න බෝ.
Want me to give a hint?
Yeah, so we still don't have a winner.
Oh,
We don't have a winner, so yeah, Vihanga, you win. Vihanga, now you see me. That's right. Well done. Congratulations, Vihanga. Oh, අපිට inbox කරන වගේ details. එතකොට විහංගට අපිට දාන්න පුළුවන්. So Vihanga, you're the winner. You can inbox and we'll discuss how you can be part of it. If you're a magician, one-on-one mentorship. If not, you can be part of a magic workshop.
yeah.
So I think
wanna
we've
know-
done.
I want to know if maybe Vianga can type if he's a magician or not, because I want to.
Vihanga, can you type? Type කරන්න පුළුවන්ද? Magician කෙනෙක්ද නැද්ද? This is the first time we are seeing Vihanga on our show tonight.
Yeah.
There's another Vihanga who generally connects, but this Vihanga is new. Vihanga, comment කරන්න පුළුවන්ද? Magician කෙනෙක්ද නැද්ද? Are you a magician or not? There's a slight delay.
That's okay.
So, oh, he's
he's
not
not
a
a
magician. Not a
Not a
magician. So,
magician. Yes,
congratulations. That's very good.
that's very impressive then.
Yeah, but I hope you have watched the movie now. You see me.
Yeah.
It's a great movie, isn't it?
Yeah, almost everyone. Oh, you haven't? That's surprising. You should watch it. You should watch it.
There are 2 movies you can watch.
Yeah, and they were in producing the 3rd and the 4th. I don't know what happened, but
Corona.
yeah, should come soon. So
Probably.
I think we passed our time, Sabine. Thank you very much for connecting with us. We owe you a big one. It's 1 hour and 15 minutes. So everybody, please follow her on Instagram, Sabine van Diemen, or you can follow her on Facebook. Subscribe her YouTube channel. Go ahead and watch her video, share it. You will inspire more and more magicians, female magicians with Sabine. She's a courageous lady, though she says she's feared about it. She has courage, otherwise she'll never do that. And Sabine, we would look forward in having you in Sri Lanka. Thank you very much. We really
Thank you
enjoyed
so
the
much,
show. It was
Sabine.
so interesting. And
Pleasure to talk.
it was really a pleasure. Yeah, you talk so well. And Arun, I think you had one question. How many languages Sabine could talk? So
Sabine can speak so many languages. Is that right, Sabine?
Well, I
So-
speak Dutch, German, French, and Spanish,
Oh,
and English.
wow.
Wow.
German,
And
French.
Sabine, you might not know, Sri Lanka was a Dutch colony
Yes,
before the yeah.
I do know, actually. I do know. Yes. So, and I was wondering, because now we are like bigging me up about speaking the language, and I wanted to ask you actually before the interview, but I forgot because I was a bit late. How do you say like thank you in your language?
Stuti.
Stuti.
Istuti?
Yes.
Brilliant.
You said
Well-
it perfectly.
Perfectly.
Istuti very much.
and we have certain Dutch words which we really don't know. I think kokis is a food. It's a sweet we have, which
Kokos,
we
yeah.
we believe we get it from the Dutch.
Caucus, yeah,
Yeah.
probably. Like
Yeah.
a
So
coconut,
there are. Sorry.
like a
It's
coconut.
no. It's actually it's a batter that's fried, and I might be wrong, but I thought it's something we get from the Dutch. But there's definitely some Dutch inspiration. Oh, patties for sure, yeah. So I think Shenal, you have a Dutch origin, right? If I'm not mistaken. So we have so many things which we might have in common. And we greet by saying Ayubowan, we can say it to welcome, to say thank you, and overall it means may you have more eternal life, more a longer life. Ayubowan.
Ayubowan.
So that's how we say. So we did it before the corona. Ayubowan.
Oh my God. Well, I hope to see you soon in Sri Lanka. I would love to come and
Thank you.
visit. And thank you so much for having me. And
Our pleasure.
Ayubowan.
Ayubowan. Thank you, Sabine. Really loved it. Have a great eve, and thank your boyfriend for allowing us to have you this evening. Thank you very much.
I
Have a
will.
good eve.
Just walked in.
Okay. See you then, Sabine. Really appreciate
See you,
it. Take care.
Bye.
Bye. Wow. ඒක නම් මාර එපිසෝඩ් එකක් නේ අරුන්. මට ඇත්තටම තාම මේ මගේ මයිල් කෙලින් වෙලා අත්වල එහෙම මේ අර කියපු කතාවලට
So, Helena,
But-
how did you meet me?
සෑහෙන්න. ඒ කියන්නේ මට මේ ෆස්ට් ටයිම් මගේ ජීවිතේ ඇත්තටම escape artist කෙනෙක්ට කතා කරන්න හම්බුනේ. මම හිතන්නේ illusionist ලට කතා කරලා තිබ්බට එහෙම අර escape artist කෙනෙක් මටත් හම්බෙලා නැහැ one to one කවදාවත් කතා කරන්න. ඉතින් මේක මාර experience එකක්.
Yeah,
විහඟ
අපි බලන තරම් අපි හිතන තරම් ලේසි නෑ පොඩ්ඩක්.
ලේසි නෑ මම සමහරක් ඒවා try කරලා තියෙනවා දන්නවා සමහරක් දේවල් කියවලා තියෙනවා නමුත් ඇත්තටම ඒ නිසා experience එක මම දන්නවා කොච්චර අමාරුද කියලා අපි දැක්කට සමහරට
අනික
ඒක ලේසි දෙයක් නෙවෙයි
කාන්තාවක් වෙලා ඒ වගේ දේවල් කරනවා කියන්නේ ඒක
අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම ඒක මාර courage එකක් නෑ කිව්වට මේකයි මම කිව්වේ එයා courageous නෑ කියනවා නම් කරන්න නැති අපි මොනවද කියන්නේ වියාගේ අපි සන්තෝෂයි අපිත් එක්ක කනෙක්ට් වුණාට වියාගේ thank you කනෙක්ට් වුණාට මම හිතන්නේ first time නේද මේ අපිත් එක්ක show එකට ආවේ nice to see you too ඉතින් මොනවද හිතුනේ අද දිනේෂ් කියන පිස්සුවක් නේ මේක නම් කියලා අනිවාර්යෙන්ම thank you Shanal for the pre research
සමහර දේවල් ෂෙයා කරගත්තද අපි වුණත් ඒ වගේ ඒ කියන්නේ සමහර දේවල් අපි ෂෙයා කරගන්නේ නැහැ ඇත්තටම අපේ performance වල වෙච්ච දේවල්
අනිවාර්යෙන්ම
ඒ දේවල් එහෙම හිතන්නේ නැතුව එයා හැමදේම අපිට ෂෙයා කරා ඉතින් ඇත්තටම ලොකු දෙයක්
එක්සැක්ට්ලි මේ එයා මාර කියන්නේ ඇත්තටම මාර ඕපන් මයින්ඩඩ් එහෙම ෂෙයා කරන්නත් ඒ කියන්නේ මුලින්ම මම ෂුවර් තිබ්බෙත් නෑ එයා අපිත් එක්ක කනෙක්ට් වෙයි කියලා මොකද එහෙම පර්සනලි හුඟක් හොඳට අනිත් මැජිෂියන්ස්ලා වගේ මම අඳුරන්නේ නැහැ සබීන්. ඉතින් එහෙම වෙලත් එයා ඇත්තටම මේ අපේ ෂෝ එකට කනෙක්ට් වෙච්ච ගැන මුළු ලංකාවම අපි ස්තුතිවන්ත වෙන්න ඕනේ. ඉතින් පුළුවන් තරම් මේ වීඩියෝ එක ෂෙයා කරන්න. විශේෂයෙන් ෆීමේල් අයට දකින්න. මොකද ෆීමේල් මැජිෂියන් කෙනෙක්ම පමණක් නෙවෙයි කාන්තාවක් විදියට පිරිමේක් හා සාපේක්ෂව සමානව ඕනෙම දෙයක් කරන්න පුළුවන් කරේජ් එකක් ඒ කට්ටියට තියෙනවා හැකියාව තියෙනවා කියන එක පෙන්눔 කරනවා මේ සබීන් වගේ එක්කෙනෙක්. ඉතින් ඒක අපි අගය කරන්න ඕනේ. මම හිතන්නේ අද නව්‍ය ලෝකයේ අපි පුරුදු වෙන්න ඕනේ ඒ සමානාත්මතාවය පිළිගෙන ඒ කියන්නේ එක ජෙන්ඩර් එකක් අනිත් ජෙන්ඩරට වඩා ඉස්සරහින් කියලා හිතන්නේ නැතුව මොකද අද ලෝකේ අපි හැමෝම දන්නවා අම්මා කෙනෙක්ගේ රෝල් එක. මොකද අපි හැමෝම අද මෙතන ඉන්නේ අපේ මව්වරුන් නිසා. ඒ වගේම අපේ සහෝදරයෝ ඉන්නවා මේ අපේ ලොකු අම්මලා පුංචි අම්මලා නැන්දලා අපි දන්නවා කොච්චර කාර්යයක් ඒ කට්ටියත් කරනවාද කියලා. මම හිතන්නේ අපි ඇත්තටම මාර්තු 8 වෙනිදා මම හිතන්නේ ජාත්‍යන්තර කාන්තා දිනය එනවා. ඊට කලින් මේ පණිවිඩය අපිට මම ඇත්තටම ඒකත් එක්ක තමයි සබීන්ව කනෙක්ට් කරන්න හිතුවේ. නමුත් අපිට ඊට කලින් කනෙක්ට් කරන්න පුළුවන් වුණා. ඕගොල්ලෝ ගිහිල්ලා එයාගේ වීඩියෝස් ෂෙයා කරන්න මේ ෂනාලුත් දාලා තියෙනවා කමෙන්ට් කරන්න. එයාට දෙන්න පුළුවන් අපෙන් දෙන්න පුළුවන් උදව්ව ඒක තමයි එයාගේ මෙසේජ් එක තව ෂෙයා කරන එක සහ මේ වීඩියෝ එක ෂෙයා කරන එක. මොකද අර මං කිව්වා වගේ අපෙත් ඉන්නවා ඉස්සරහට කාන්තා මැජිෂියන්ස්ලා කීප දෙනෙක් අපි ඉන්ට්‍රොඩියුස් කරන්න බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා. ඒ එකම අර මම හිතන්නේ Now You See Me මූවි එක බලලා කට්ටිය හුඟක් මැජික් කරන්න ආස වුණා වගේ මම හිතන්නේ සබීන්ගේ මේ කතාව අහලා මං බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා ලංකාවේ ෆීමේල් මැජිෂියන්ස්ලා දියුණු වෙයි කියලා. අරුන්ට මතක නම් අපි kids මේ Magic for Kids workshop එක කරාම ඒ හැම අවස්ථාවෙම වැඩිපුරම අපේ හිටියෙත් මේ දුවලා තමයි ඇවිල්ලා හිටියේ මතකද? මේ අපි සන්තෝෂ වුණා මොකද අපි ඇත්තටම බලාපොරොත්තුනේ කොල්ල වැඩි වෙයි කියලා. නමුත් කෙල්ල තමයි හුඟක් ආවේ ඒ වර්ක්ෂොප්ස් වලට. ඉතින් ඒකෙන් අපිට හුඟක් පෙරුණා මැජික් වලටත් ඒ කටට ආසාව තියෙනවා. ඉතින් ඔබ දෙමව්පියෙක් නම් ඔබ අයියා කෙනෙක් නම් පියෙක් නම් දුව කියලා ඒ කටට මැජික් වලට එන්න දෙන්න එපා. එහෙම නවත්තන්න ඒව හිතන්න එපා.
ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ දෙමාපියන්ට ස්තුතිවන්ත වෙන්න ඕනේ. මොකද මේ වගේ දෙයකට ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ ළමයිව යොමු කරපු එකත් ඇත්තටම ලොකු දෙයක්.
Exactly. මේක ඇත්තටම ලොකු දෙයක්. ඒ සමගම මේ නවත්තන්නත් එපා පාත් එක මේ දන්න දුවක් ඉන්නවා නම් මැජික් කරන්න. දැන් අද මට දැනගන්න ලැබුණා මගේ මේ සෙකන්ඩ් කසින් කෙනෙක්ගේ දුව අපේ ෂෝ එක බලනවා අපේ මැජික් බලනවා. එයාත් පොඩි මැජික් ට්‍රික්ස් කරන්න ආසයි කියලා එයාට මට මෙසේජ් එකක් දාලා තිබ්බා. ඉතින් මට හුඟක් සන්තෝෂ වුණා. මං හිතනවා අපිත් එක්ක මේ කනෙක්ට් වෙන්න පුළුවන් වුණා කියලා. නැතත් මම මේ වීඩියෝ එක මේ ෂෙයා කරනවා අනිවාර්යෙන් මෙයාට බලන්න. මේ අපි උදව් කරන්න ඕනේ. ඕගොල්ලෝ දන්න ඉන්නවා නම් දුවලා අක්කලා නංගිලා ආන්ටිලා මේ කවුරු හරි මැජික් කරන ඒ වීඩියෝස් අපිට එවන්න. අපි ඒව ෂෙයා කරමු. අපි උදව් කරමු. මොකද සබීන්ගෙන් අපිට ඉස්සරහට ගෙනියන්න පුළුවන් පණිවිඩය ඒක තමයි. තවත් කාන්තා මැජිෂියන්ස්ලා ලංකාවේ ඇති වෙන්න. මොකද අර ඉස්සර කාන්තාව හුඟක් කතාව කිව්ව මිස් ඩිරෙක්ෂන් වලට යූස් කරේ කියලා. ඒ කට්ටිය පෙන්නලා එතකොට මැජික් එක පිළිබඳ අපි හිත වෙනස් වෙනවා කියලා. නමුත් ඒ ආකල්පය වෙනස් වෙන්න ඕනේ. අපි මේ මැජික් සමග හැමතිස්සෙම මේ ෂෝ එකේ බලන්නේ මැජික් වලට අලුත් අර්ථකථනයක් දෙන්න. මැජික් පිළිබඳ ඕගොල්ලන්ට ආදරයක් ඇති කරන්නේ මැජික් ආර්ට් එකක් විදියට ඕගොල්ලන්ට බලන්න පුරුදු කරන එක. මම හිතන්නේ ඒ විදියටම කාන්තාවන් මැජික් වල ඉන්න එක බලන විදියත් අපි වෙනස් වෙන්න ඕනේ. මම රිසර්ච් කරද්දී මම හිතනවා අරුන්ට කියලා තියෙනවා හුඟක් වෙලාවට ඇයි කාන්තාව මැජික් වලට එන්නේ නැති වෙන්න එක හේතුවක් තමයි අපි සුරංගනා කතානේ අපේ පටන් ගන්න. මේ සුරංගනා කතාවල මැජික් කරන කාන්තාව හැමතිස්සෙම විච් කෙනෙක්. මේ මායාකාරිය. බටකොළාච්චි කෙනෙක්. ඒ කියන්නේ නරක චරිතයක්.
තමයි කියන්නේ.
නරක චරිතයක් තමයි පොඩි කාලේ ඉඳන් ඔළුවට වැටිලා තියෙන කාන්තාව මැජික් සම්බන්ධයෙන් කියන චරිතයකට. ඉතින් මම හිතන්නේ ඒක දැන් වෙනස්. ඒ ඔයගොල්ලෝ දන්නවා නම් ඊවන් ඩිස්නි ඒවා වෙනස් කරනවා. ඒ කට්ටිය දැන් කරන මූවිස් ඔය මැලිෆිසන්ට් ඒ වගේ මූවිස් වල හිට අර කාන්තා විච් කෙනෙක්ගේ චරිතේ විසර්ඩ් කෙනෙක් විදියට වෙනස් කරනවා. ඉතින් අපෙත් කාලේ ලංකාවේ ඒ විදියට මැජික් පිළිබඳවත් කාන්තාවන්ගේ රෝල් එක වෙනස් කියලා තීරණ ගන්න එක. ඉතින් දිගටම එන්න අපිත් එක්ක එකතු වෙන්න. දුලීලා අහනවා ඊගාව සතියේ කවුද ඉන්නේ කියලා. ඊගාව සතියේ මම මට කියන්න පුළුවන් බය නැතුව ඉන්ටර්නැෂනල් මැජිෂියන් කෙනෙක් සහභාගී වෙන්න. ඒ වගේම අපි හුඟක් ආදරය කරන අපිට හුඟක් හිතවත් අපිට ඇත්තටම කියන්නේ සෑහෙන වටින චරිතයක්. ඒ වගේම යාළුවෙක් කියන්න පුළුවන්. හැමතිස්සෙම අපිට උදව් කරන
ඉන්න යනක
ෆ්‍රාන්ස් අරුන්ට හම්බෙලාම නැහැනේ. ඒ කියන්නේ කතා කරලා නැහැනේ.
මට කොමරි ඇත්ත ස්ත්‍රීන් එක එම තිබ්බන ඇති
අනිවාර්යෙන් ඒ chance එක හම්බ වෙනවා. ඉතින් connect වෙලා ඉන්න අපිත් එක්ක.
ගොඩක්ම ආස කරන චරිතයක් සහ ආදරය කරන මැජිෂියන් කෙනෙක්. ඉතින් යාගේ මැජික් ඇත්තටම හිතා ගන්න බෑ. වැඩි අපි වැඩි ඉස්සර කවුද කියලා කියන්නේ.
ඔව් අපිට කියන්න බෑ දැන්. මේ සයින සතිය තුල අපි announce කරනවා. එයා විශේෂයෙන් උදේ පාන්දර කනෙක්ට් වෙනවා කිව්වා අරුන් ජීවි මේ අවුරුද්දකින් විතර ඒ වෙලාවට නැගිටලා නැහැ කිව්වා. මේ කොරෝනා නිසා. ඉතින් එයාට තියෙන ලොකම චැලෙන්ජ් එක මේකට සහභාගී වෙන එක නෙවෙයි. උදේ නැගිටින එක. බලමු 99% එයා කනෙක්ට් වෙනවා. මේ අපි බලමු. ඉතින් එයා ඇත්තටම මගේ ජීවිතේ මම අහලා තියෙන කතාවක් තමයි අපි සමහරට ආදරය කරන සෙලිබ්‍රිටිස්ලා ඉන්නවානේ. ඒ සෙලිබ්‍රිටිස්ලා මේ සමහරට කියනවා හම් වෙන්න එපයි. මොකද හම්බුණාම අපි ඒ ගැන තියෙන ආකල්ප සම්පූර්ණ වෙනස් වෙනවා. ඒ ඇත්ත පුද්ගලයා වෙනස් නම්. හරි? ඉතින් නමුත් එහෙම හම්බෙන පුද්ගලයාට වඩා වෙනස් චරිත දෙකක් තමයි ෆ්‍රාන්ස් හරාරේ අපිත් එක්ක කනෙක්ට් වෙච්ච සහ මේ පුද්ගලයා. ඒ කියන්නේ අපි හිතනට වඩා එහයින් යාළු වෙන මේ උදව් කරන්න බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන මැජික් ශිල්පියෙක් මට මෙච්චරක් කියන්න පුළුවන්. මේ ෂෙනල්ලේ මානවා හින්ට් එකක්. ෂෙනල් නම් කියන්න එපා. මම මේ කියන හින්ට් වලින් ඔය අනිවාර්යෙන් දැනගන්නවා කවුද කියලා. වර්ල්ඩ් චැම්පියන් මැජිෂියන් කෙනෙක්. ලංකාවට ආදරය කරන මැජිෂියන් කෙනෙක්. අපි කවුරුත් කැමති මැජිෂියන් කෙනෙක්. ඉතින් what style of magic ෂෙනල් වට උත්තර දෙන්න බෑ. ඔයාට මේක ඉවර වෙලා මම ඒ උත්තර ටික දෙන්නම්. ඕකද ඔයා අනිවාර්යෙන්ම ඔයාගේ කට පයින්නවා. ඔයා දැනගන්නවා කවුද කියලා.
ඔව් දැන් කිව්වනේ අනිවාර්යෙන් කියනවා.
ඔව් අනිවාර්යෙන් දැනගල්ලා මේ ඔව් හරි චැනල් දැම්ම වැටිලා තියෙනවා. චැනල් හොඳටම දන්නවා. චැනල් මේ ළඟදී සම්බන්ධයකුත් තිබ්බා. දැන් චැනල් දන්නවා කවුද කියලා. හරි. එහෙමනම් අපිත් එක්ක කනෙක්ට් වෙන්න. අපි මම හිතන්නේ කෙටියෙන්ම කරපු ෂෝ එක තමයි. හේතුව තමයි සබීන්ට පැයයි පුළුවන් කිව්වේ පැයකට වඩා එයා හිටියා. don't guess channel. don't spill the beans. දාන්න එපා කමෙන්ට්ස් වල මොකොත්. මේ ලව්ත් එයා තමයි ඔයා හිතන එක්කන මම දන්නවා මට කියන්න පුළුවන් ඔයා හිතන එක්කන හරි කියලා.
ඇත්තටම මේ යසත් අද එපිසෝඩ් එකේ සෑහෙන දේවල් මම ඉගෙන ගත්තා. ඇත්තටම ඒ කියන්නේ එයා කිව්ව දේවල් වලින් මාර සෑහෙන වටින දේවල් තියෙනවා. යසස් කමෙන්ට් එක බලාගෙන ඉන්න ෂෙනල් දායිද ෂෙනල් දායිද
නෑ මේ වන්නේ මේ විහංග ගහනවා මේල්ද ෆීමේල් මේල් මැජිෂියන් කෙනෙක් විහංග. ඒ අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම ඔයගොල්ලෝ කවුරුත් ආදරය කරනවා. අපි නම කීප සැරයක් කියලා තියෙනවා. මම හිතන්නේ අදත් මම මෙන්ෂන් කරා ඒක අවස්ථාවකදී. ඉතින් මේ අද ෂෝ එක ඇත්තටම අරුන් මමත් එන්ජොයි කරා. මොකද මම නොදන්න කරුණු කීපයක් එළියට ආවා. සාමාන්‍යයෙන් අපි දන්න කරුණුනේ කතා කරන්නේ. නමුත් අර මේ ඒ කියන්නේ නොදන්න කරුණු කියන්නේ යාගේ එක්ස්පීරියන්ස් එක. මම බලාපොරොත්තු වෙච්ච පැත්තකින් නොවන ආන්සර්ස් ගොඩක් අද ආවා. ඉතින් මම හිතන්නේ ඒ නිසා මේ ෂෝ එක අද හුඟක් අනිත් ඒවාත් වටිනවා. නමුත් පර්සනලිත් මට හුඟක් ටච් වෙච්ච මේකක් මේ අනිත් එක හොඳ පර්සනැලිටි එකක්. හරි ආසයි කතා කරන්න. මේ මම හිතන්නේ කමෙන්ට් එකක් දාලා තිබ්බා දිලාන්ද කොහෙද ටොකටිව් කියලා. මම මේක දැම්මේ නෑ. මොකද මොන විදියට එයා ගයිද කියලා. ඇත්ත තමයි. ඒ කියන්නේ අපිට වඩා එයා කතා කරා.
හරිම කියන්නේ ආඩම්බර නැති විරහංකාර චරිත.
අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම විහංග කියනවා ගිය සතියේ ප්‍රෝග්‍රෑම් එකේ දැනගත්තේ මේ හැම වීකේම එනවා. thank you very much විහංග. ගන්න අපිට ඕනේ ඔයගොල්ලෝ වගේ අලුතෙන් අපේ ප්‍රෝග්‍රෑම් එකට කට්ටිය එකතු කරගන්න අපේ පරණ අය දිගටම තියාගෙන. මොකද අනිවාර්යෙන් අපි දන්නවා අපිත් එක්ක කනෙක්ට් වෙලා ඉන්නවා අපේ මැජිෂියන්ස් සෙට් එක.
ඔව් අපිත් එක්ක පටන් ආරම්භයේ සිට ඉන්න කට්ටියක් ඉන්නවා ඉතින් අපිත් එක්ක.
අනිවාර්යෙන්ම. රංග හරි පැත්තට යන්නේ. රංග උත්තර දාන්න එපා. රංගට මම හිතන්නේ හම්බෙලා තියෙනවා මම දන්න තරමින්. මොකද අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම දිනේෂ් කියනවා escape arts ගැන ඔය තරම් දෙයක් ඒව කරන කෙනෙක්ගෙන් අහන්න වෙන්නේ නැහැ කවදාත්. ඔය ඇත්තටම මොකද මටත් පර්සනලි සෑහෙන දේවල් තියෙනවා මේ escape artist කෙනෙක්ගෙන් අහගන්න. මොකද ඒ වගේ escape artistලා ඇත්තටම කීප දෙනා even මේල් වර්ල්ඩ් එකෙත් ඉන්නේ. ඒ කියන්නේ මැජිෂියන්ස්ලා කරාට ෆුල් ටයිම් escape artist කෙනෙක් විදියට හුඟක් අය කරන්නේ නැහැ. ඉතින් සෑහෙන හොඳ එක්ස්පීරියන්ස් එකක් අපි සබීන්ගෙන් ගන්න පුළුවන්. ඉතින් අමතක කරන්න එපා අපි මේ ඉන්න කීප දෙනා හරි පුළුවන් තරම් ෂෙයා කරන්න. විහංග නුවරද විහංග කියනවා පුළුවන් නම් කැන්ඩි පැත්තේ ෂෝ එකක් කරන්න. අපි කරන්න හිටියා ලංකාව වටේ මායා බන්ධනය කියලා මේ ෂෝ එකක්. නමුත් කොරෝනා ඊස්ටර් ටැග් ඒවා නිසා පහ වුණා. හැබැයි ප්ලෑන් එකක් තියෙනවා මේ අපි කාලේ වෙලා තමයි අපිට තියෙන ලොකුම ප්‍රශ්නේ. අපේ හතුර හපෙලා තියෙන කාලය. මොකද මේ ඔයගොල්ලෝ දැක්කද දන්නේ අපි වැලන්ටයින්ස් ප්‍රොමෝෂන් අපි කතා කරෙත් නැහැ නේ වැලන්ටයින්ස් එක ගැන.
තමයි මට කියන්න ඕන කියලා මට ඒක අමතක වෙලා ගියා. අපි ගිය සතේ කිව්වා පොඩි වැලන්ටයින් පොඩි වැඩක් තියෙනවා කියලා. ඉතින් වැඩේ රිලීස් වෙලා තියෙන්නේ. ගිහලා
සචිනේ මාදව
YouTube channel එකේ ලව් ගුරු කියන වීඩියෝ එක අන්තිම වීඩියෝ එක. ඉතින් ඒක කෙලින්ම කොර කරලා තියන්නේ අපි දන්න අඳුරන යසස් තමයි. ඒක ඉවරනකම් බලන්න.
ඉවර වෙනකල් බලන්න ඔයගොල්ලන්ට ඒක තමයි අදහස ලැබෙන්නේ. හැබැයි ඒකේ නොපෙනෙන පුද්ගලයා තමයි අරුන් තමයි ෆුල් ප්‍රොඩක්ෂන් එක හැන්ඩල් කරලා එඩිටින් වැඩ බැලලා හුඟක් දේවල් කරේ. ඉතින් ඒකත් හොඳ එක්ස්පීරියන්ස් එකක් නේ අරුන් අපිට. අපේ හිඩන් මැජික් එක්ස්පීරියන්ස් අතරින් තවත් මැජික් එක්ස්පීරියන්ස් එකක්.
ඉතින් ඇත්තටම ඒක කියන්නේ මැජික් පර්ෆෝම් කරනවට වඩා අමුතුම එක්ස්පීරියන්ස් එකක් ඒක. ඒ කියන්නේ මිනිස්සුන්ට ඒක මැජික් එකක් නොවෙන්නත් තියාග වග බලා ගන්න ඕනේ. ඒ වගේම මේගොල්ලන්ව පුදුමයටපත් කරන්නත් ඕනේ. ඒ වගේම මේගොල්ලන්ට වීඩියෝ කරන එක පේන්නේ නැතුවත් කරන්න ඕනේ.
අන්තිමට ඔඩියන්ස් එකට ඉන්ටරෙස්ටිං කරන්නත් ඕනේ. ඇත්තටම අපිට ඒ කියන්නේ වීඩියෝ එක එළියට දානකල් අපි දන්නේ නැහැ ඒක මිනිස්සු කැමති වෙයිද නැද්ද කියන එක. සහ ඒක කරනකල් දන්නේ නැහැ පාටිසිපේට් කරන අය ඒක පිළිගයිද ඒකට සම්බන්ධ වෙයිද එන්ජොයි කරයිද කියන. විහංග ඔයාගේ ගමේ අරුන්.
හැටන් ඉතින් හැටන් කොල්ලෙක් කියන්නේ නේ.
ඒ කියන්නේ මම හැටන් කොල්ලෙක්.
හැටන් කිව්වට පොඩ හැටන් ඉඳන් යන්න ඕනේ ඇතුළට පොඩ. තලව ගැලේ දන්නවද? අන්න ඒ පැත්තේ තමයි මම ඉන්නේ. යසස් ශ්‍රී ගුරු. හැබැයි ඒගොල්ලන් බැලුවොත් නම් ආය හොයාගන්න බෑ යහස්ගේ කතාවයි යහස්ගේ ඒක කියන්න හොඳ නැහැ. ඒක ගිහිල්ලා බලන්න කොහොමද?
ගිහිල්ලා බලන්න. ඒකත් පොඩ්ඩක් ෂෙයා කරලා අපිට උදව් කරන්න. මැජික් ස්ප්‍රෙඩ් කරන්න. මොකද අපි හැමදාම කරන්නේ අලුත් දේවල්. මෙයා නෝටන් බ්‍රිජ්. විහංග නෝටන් බ්‍රිජ්.
නේද? අපි ඇත්තටම මම නම් තලව කෙලේ. තලව කෙලේ නම් තලව කෙලේ මේ තව ටිකක් යන්න ඕනේ ඇතුළට.
අපි ඕවා පහු කරගෙන හපුතලේ ගිය අවුරුද්දේ නේ පොඩි චාරිකාවක් අරුණුයි මමයි රිට්‍රීට් එකකට ගියා. ඉතින් මේ මම හිතන්නේ අපි ෂෝ එක අවසන් කරමු නේද? අපි නැත්තම් මේ වැඩි කතා කර යනවා. ඉතින් හැමෝටම ජෑම් එකක් කරා. හැමෝටම අපි ස්තුතිවන්ත වෙනවා අපිත් එක්ක එකතු වුණාට, අපිත් එක්ක ඔයගොල්ලෝගේ අදහස් ෂෙයා කරාට, එන්ගේජ් වුණාට, මේ ප්‍රශ්න අහුවට. ඉතින් අපි ඉල්ලන්නේ එක දෙයයි මේ වීඩියෝ ෂෙයා කරන්න, මැජික් වලට ආදරය කරන්න, මැජික් එක සම්බන්ධ වෙන්න, මැජිෂියන් කෙනෙක් විය යුතු නැහැ. ඔයගොල්ලන්ට මැජික් රස විඳින්න පුළුවන් ඕනේ අවස්ථාවක. මේ thank you very much channel හැමදාම වගේ රෑ 12 පහ වෙලා දැන් එකමාරයි වෙලාව නිදි මරාගෙන අපිත් එක්ක කනෙක්ට් වෙනාට අපි ඇප්‍රීෂিয়েට් කරනවා. channel කීප දෙනෙක් අහලත් තිබ්බා channel කවදාද ගෙන්න ගන්නේ මේ එපිසෝඩ් එකට කියලා. මේ අපි ප්‍රයොරිටි දෙනවා ඉන්ටර්නැෂනල් මැජිෂියන්ස් වලට. මොකද ඒ කට්ටියගේ ෂෙඩියුල්ස් වෙනස් කරන්න බැරි හින්දා channel උත් ඉන්ටර්නැෂනල් තමයි. නමුත් අපි දන්නා channel අපිට ඕනේ වෙලාවක අපිට ගන්න පුළුවන් කියලා.
කතාවක් තියෙන අර හොඳම ටික අපි අන්තිමට තමයි තියාගන්නේ කියලා.
අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම ඒ නිසා තමයි අපි channel තියෙන. හැබැයි මේකේ අන්තිමයක් අපි බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන්නේ අපිට පුළුවන් තරම් තාක්කල් අපි ගෙනියන්න ඕනේ මේ මම නොහිටියත් අරුන් නොහිටියත් අපි දෙන්න එක්කෙනෙක් කොහොම හරි මේ ෂෝ එක පුළුවන් තරම් ලෙඩ වුණත් අපි ගෙනියන්න තමයි ප්‍රාර්ථනාව. මේ channel hina වෙලා බෑ. channelට ඔන්න කාලේ තියෙනවා හොඳ මැජික් ටිකක් රෙඩි කරගන්න. අර ෆ්‍රාන්ස් හරාරකේකටත් කරන්න බැරි වෙච්ච මැජික් ටික channelට පුළුවන් ලයිව් කරන්න. ඔයාගේ ප්‍රොෆයිල් එක ක්ලීන් කරලා වැඩ කරන channel අපි ෆොටෝ ටික ඔක්කොම අරන් දෙන්න. අපි අරන් තියෙන පරණ ෆොටෝස් ඔක්කොම.
අපි මේක ප්ලෑන් කරන්න ඒ කියන්නේ මේ අයිඩියා එක ආපු ගමන් කෙලින්ම ඔයාගේ තමයි ඔයාගෙන් තමයි පටන් ගත්තේ.
ඔයාගේ බුච්චනගේ
ඔව් අපි දන්නවා ඕක ඉස්සරහට යද්දි අනිවාර්යෙන් ඔක දැනගෙන සීන් එක ඔක්කොම ක්ලියර් කරයි කියලා.
රංග පියුමල් කියන යා eagerly waiting for next week කියලා. අනිවාර්යෙන්ම ඔක රංග පියුමල් දන්නවා මේ මැජිෂියන් හම්බෙලක් තියෙනවා මම දන්න තරමේ. ඉතින් එහෙමනම් අරුන් තවත් සක්සස්ෆුල් එපිසෝඩ් එකක් අපි අවසන් කරනවා නේ. 15 වෙනි එපිසෝඩ් එක.
එපිසෝඩ් එක ඉවර කළා. ඒ කියන්නේ මාස කියද 3
බෙදා ගන්නත් බෑ.
නිමනිම ඉතින් අපි
අනිවාර්යෙන් ප්‍රියංකට අනිවාර්යෙන් වර්ක්ෂොප් එකට ජොයින් වෙන්න පුළුවන්. අපි මේ තාම වර්ක්ෂොප් එක දිනේ හිතලා නැහැ. මොකද ඒක පොඩ්ඩක් රිෆයින් කරනවා. ඒකට පොඩි අලුත් විදිය වැඩක් කරන්න හිතනවා. වර්චුවල් නිසා අර අපිට ෆිසිකල් ටච් එක නැහැ. පොඩි ඒ නිසා පොඩි දේවල් ටිකක් හිතනවා. නමුත් අනිවාර්යෙන් කරනවා. ඉතින් ඔයාටත් සම්බන්ධ වෙන්න පුළුවන්. මේ එන අරුත්
නියමයි අපි කැපෙමුනේ
අද කැපෙමු. අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම අපි ඩිසපියර් වෙමු. කැපෙමු කියන්න බෑනේ. අපි ඩිසපියර් වෙමු. අපිවත් ෆලෝ කරන්න ඉන්ස්ටා වල අරුන් මොලි මැජික් yasas.me Sabine van Diemen ෆලෝ කරන්න. එහෙනම් අපි තවත් මෙවැනි වටිනා එපිසෝඩ් එකක් එක්ක සහභාගී වෙනවා, කනෙක්ට් වෙනවා. ලබන සතියේ Magic Talk with
Arun and Yasas
මම යසස්.
මම අරුන්
එහෙනම්
එහෙනම්
ආයි සුබ රාත්‍රියක්. ආයිබෝන්.